G'day listeners, just wanted to take a moment to wish everyone out there a Merry Christmas. I hope you have a fantastic time celebrating with friends and family and enjoying that festive season that's upon us. So I hope that you enjoy this episode. I think you will. It's got Santa's little helper, aka Frodo, aka Anthony, Frank's cousin, and Frankie joining us for a pretty funny one at that. We're actually going to break this one into two parts because I really wanted to end the year with a good one, and I think that both of these are fantastic. So what a way to celebrate Christmas and to bring in the new year with the last podcast episode for the year. Alrighty, let's get into it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You're listening to the Australian Hunting and Beyond podcast with Matt, where we talk about hunting, shooting, fishing, camping, and everything else that the great outdoors has to offer. Let's get into it.
I've noticed that most of your decorations are in the top third of the tree.
Well, I mean, the reason for that
Is that so Anthony can't reach it? Or what's it good?
The kids have been absolutely destroying it. So it's been painful. But are you comfy there? You good?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. Hold on.
So what do you do when you put the star on your tree?
Hey?
What do you do when you put the star on your tree?
I get on Emma's shoulders. Hey, you asked, I gave you the answer.
If you want to sleep.
Oh my God.
Hey, does that recline?
It does. It does. I go on for Pasco.
Look at this little bad boy.
Oh, yeah. I could fit right in there.
All right, it's a big seat. Yeah, the kids have been getting to that and just smashing it. So it's been painful. But So we're here, we're recording. I've got Frankie, the shark slayer.
Oh, here we go.
What else can we say about him? The tree licker. We were supposed to do this about a week ago, but he lost his voice. Too many splinters in the throat. But
Set up when you bathe in a wallow.
but it's worked out even better because we've got Frodo here too, which is always good. Makes it even better here because I think, mate, you're going to cop it.
So you got 1.5 hosts.
1.5.
I like it. The main character is here.
Yeah, shouldn't you be throwing a ring off the Mordor somewhere?
So Sharks, man, what you've got, I got to hear about it. You've been very cagey about your shark story.
Oh, it was. I wanted to make sure I gave the full story and make sure I got my facts right too, because other people are going to want to go fishing for sharks as well.
Is this the shark you caught when you rang me at 9 o'clock at night?
Yeah, that's
9:30
right.
at night?
That's right.
I
yeah.
answered that phone call.
I can't believe you actually answered one of my phone calls. I couldn't believe it. You must have thought it was an emergency.
I did.
That's what I got. So, note to self, ring Anthony at 9 o'clock at night if you want to talk to him. Don't ring him at 8 o'clock during the day where normal people would respond to a phone call. Correct. Okay. No worries whatsoever. I'll do that. Thank you. Noted. Yeah, so pretty much I got introduced to shark fishing from a good mate of mine, Scotty, and when I moved down the coast there, he was talking about shark fishing off the beach, and I'm like, this sounds like unreal. I want to be a part of this. It's great. Like, if you need me to come and do anything, I'm happy to do. I'm even happy just to sit down and watch. Like, you just tell me what you need. And he said he had a sore back, so he said if you get one on, you can reel it in. I went, great. This is fantastic. So went down there and he pulls out this hook and literally the size of the palm of my hand. And I'm like, well, we actually are going for sharks here. And he showed me the rig he made up and everything like that. And then anyway, we went down to the beach and he put this cast in, and it would have been about 20 metres. It would have been about 20 metres from where the water hits the sand. And I looked at him and went, is that as far as you're going to go, mate? He goes, yeah, that's it. That's it. And I went, why? And then he explained to me about gutters and how deep they get once the big king tides come in and stuff like that. And I went, well, righto. And sure as, literally would have been 5 minutes after the sun had set, we had a run, and probably about 40 minutes later I landed a grey-nosed shark, because it was a little bit later in the season. So apparently once the waters get too cold, apparently the grey noses move in, and the bronze whalers move out. But anyway, that was last year, and then this year I wanted to get right into it and get a proper shark, and just to get some more protein on the table, to get some flake and stuff like that. And I thought,
Is that because the deer haven't been coming?
well, it's hard when you're trying to teach everyone how to shoot a deer, Matt. You got to carry them and all that sort of stuff. So yeah,
It's a bit hard when they're not the side of a barn either.
yeah,
What was that deer that was giant? The Irish elk?
yeah, the Irish elk.
You need that at 20.
They were an Irish elk, weren't they? Yeah. I need that at 5. So I need to have some sort of hammer or something like that.
He just needs one to run out in front of his car. Didn't you? Didn't one run into your car?
One ran into my car, yeah. And I couldn't even get that one because he ran into a private property. I couldn't even get that one. Terrible. But anyway, so made up my own rigs, got a 15-foot rod. It's just a dialed beef stick. It does 15 to 24 kilos. I've got a Penn Battle 3 10,000 size reel. That does 22 kilo, I think, of drag. So I've got some 65-pound braid line on that. So it holds 700 yards of braid line on that. Went fishing the exact same spot, and we were using salmon heads as bait, and same thing would have been about an hour and a half when high tide was at its max. The stack of the tide came in, and the rod went off. I was actually down the shoreline with my eldest daughter because I said to her, we'll get rid of the all the stuff inside the burley bag we had washing around the surf. So get rid of all that because the rain was threatening, and we looked at the synopsis and we could see there was a massive amount of rain coming over. So we'll just pack up and we'll just do everything we need to do, and then we'll just pull the rods in at the very last minute. That's the last thing we'll do. So and right on cue, the rod's gone off. The rod's bent over, and it's I had a glow stick taped to the top of it, and so I can just see it waving at me, and in the PVC pipe in the sand, and the line I have, it changes colour every 5 meters. So it looked like it was a disco coming out of the top of the rod as the line was going into the water. Went up, picked up the rod, tightened up the drag a bit, and pulled up, and this thing just took off, and I was like, we are on. We are definitely on. This shark went out into a channel and then went out to sea, went across the back of the sandbar, and then come back across back into the channel, and then it was actually going down into the mouth of the river around some rocks. And so when he did that, I thought I was going to lose him, but I opened up the bail and made it really loose, and then the sharks obviously thought it's come free. It turned around to go back out to sea, and as it's gone past that point of those rocks again, I've just ran up the slack, put the bail over, and then just went backwards as hard as I could to try and pull it back into that gutter, which I did eventually work into that gutter. So it took me all of about 35 minutes just to do that part. So by this time I was really strained. I had a mate with me, Andy. I gave him the rod. I said, just hold that for 5 minutes while I just catch my breath, and literally turned around and stretched me back out, turned back around, and he was another 100 meters back down the beach where I just was. So went back down there because he's only a lightweight. Grabbed the rod off him, and when this shark started touching the sand, when it started coming shallow, it started touching the sand. You could tell as soon as it touched it because it took off straight away. So it was another, I don't know, say 15, 20 minutes of that happening until my mate was able to go, it's bronzy, it's eaten size, so great. So we tail roped it, pulled it up, and then as we pulled it up, we took some photos real quick because apparently the speed is a necessity when you got a shark up there, because apparently they release a lot of ammonia and stuff like that through their adrenaline. This is what I've heard. I'm probably going to get told differently very soon, but it goes throughout their meat and stuff like that. So the best thing to do is to dispatch it and to bleed it straight away. So we did that. We dispatched it. and we literally took the whole head off, and once that was off, it was all bled out, and then we cut the sides off of it, and yeah, I've got some photos there, and like it was a really good shark, a really good fight, and it was just really, yeah, it was just once in a lifetime sort of stuff. And I was so glad my daughter was there too to watch it. Like she was so excited, and like she was touching the shark tail and all that sort of stuff. And even when we were bringing the meat back, like we were carrying everything back plus the shark, and so my daughter said, "Oh, I want the jaw." I'm like, "Well, here." And so I grabbed a gaff and gaffed it, and I said, "There you go. If you drag it back to the ute, we'll take it home." And she did. She dragged it the whole way back to the ute. So that's when I cut out the jaw, and I've got it. Gonna put it up on a plaque there with the actual rig itself and a picture of me there with it.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. That's why I was so like when that's why I was ringing you guys to go, hey, have a look at this. Like,
Did you answer?
Finally did.
I
it.
did.
Oh, did you?
He did answer. For once in his life, he did.
I did. I did. Look, I'm not going to lie. I automatically thought something's happened.
What's he done now?
Shark's taken an arm.
What's he done now?
He's trying to remove the hook with his hand.
He's done a Tony Gillen. He's got it's through his hand.
He's tried to do a Rex Hunt and kiss it and throw it back. It didn't work out.
Oh.
So
It wasn't.
yes,
Yeah, it
I
wasn't
did
happy.
answer.
It was not happy when it come up. But yeah, no, it was so much fun. And my daughter, like, when I was talking to her about it, I thought she was still shaking with the adrenaline. Like she was, I don't know what's happening, Dad, but I can't stay still. And she, like, you would see her shaking. I'm like, that's good, darling. That's adrenaline. That's the rush. That's why we do it. That's why we're doing this. Like it's that, and and look how much meat we've got to take home now. And yeah, and
Something
she's
a
so
lot of
proud.
kids probably wouldn't get to see either, you know. Like,
Especially Frank's kids.
well, they only get to see deer in picture books.
See Bambi? Daddy tries to get them.
How many you got up in your wall over here? How many working out here? No, that's
This is
right.
the Christmas room, mate.
Oh, sorry, I
Yeah,
forgot.
I
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
have a head of a deer in here for,
It
the
must
poor
be in your
kids will
garage.
be tainted
It have to be
going,
in
what
your
happened to
garage,
Rudolph?
surely.
They're already freaked out tonight. They looked at Anthony and went, the elf's here, he's fine for Santa. He looked at the Sasquatch has come through too.
Santa's
Matt's got a
senses-
wall in his lounge for the deer heads, and his wife's taking pity on him and actually bought a picture of deer to put up there.
It's a nice picture though. Those two reds in the fog. It's a damn nice picture.
At least someone's got reds on their walls.
That's true. That's very true. That's the next thing to get. Red. That's the next thing to get.
Yes.
Nice red for sure. For
Definitely.
sure. And a sandbar. And a sandbar.
Well, on Samba,
On sandbar.
you're just invested in Samba.
Yeah, I really want to get a sandbar this year. Yeah, I really want to get a sandbar this year, and I really want to get a local one too near home. So I'll be working towards that for sure. Reading my books, I believe you got a copy now, Matt.
Ooh, I do. And
You have a copy. Oh yes.
I haven't read the inscription.
Oh, you should. I reckon you
Should we?
Oh, for sure.
Should I pause, go get it, and
Yeah, pause.
read it?
Yeah,
All right.
100%.
All right. We'll pause and we'll be back in a sec. I feel like this is going to be a mad stitch up.
Just remember, this is still recording, so whatever we say, he's still going to hear.
Yes, I will hear you.
Yeah. See? You can- Did you hear that creaking when he got up? It must be his knees. He'll say it's the chair for sure.
We respect the elders, Frank.
Did you take your vitamins today, Grandpa?
Oh, jeez.
love
What a
it.
good
I love
laugh.
it. Jeez, you hit this book pretty well.
I've got kids, mate.
Look at that. It's still in the wrapping and everything.
I told you I didn't want to. I thought it. Okay,
Do you want me to read it to you? Do you know how to read?
and you can tell we're back.
Got some big,
Listen, before I open up,
got some big words in
I
it.
literally got this book and I didn't know anything. No one had told me a thing. So I thought Rob, shout out to Rob from Xmas Special, had sent me this down just to borrow and have a read of, because I'd mentioned actually on one of the things I haven't got the book, haven't read it yet, and that I was waiting for a mate to ship it. It wasn't Rob, but that's what I thought. So then got told, I said thank you, and he said, oh, the boys from Snow Camp had chipped in and there's an inscription.
yes. Yes, we made sure to put it.
All right.
Yeah.
Matt, this small gift is to thank you for the awesome content you provide for the Aussie hunting community. From the lads from Snow Camp 2024, Rob, Frank, James, Anthony, and, well, 2 Anthonys, a special note from Frank. May you fall into every wallow you check and get splinters in your tongue with every tree you lick. Well, if I learn from you, that probably will happen.
Well, it's just after you read the book, it'll actually show you that there is no licking of any trees. And
No.
we probably should do a public service announcement too while we're at it.
So what
Yes.
was your excuse then, Freo?
Well, I had 2 clowns with me. So obviously I picked some magic mushrooms and we were just imagining me licking trees for some reason. So I don't know what fairy tales you guys were looking at. But anyway, yeah, public service announcement. There is no licking of trees on the Errol Mason course, nor is there any tasting of wallow water or tasting of sandbar pellets.
All right, hold on here.
There's
Hold
none
on,
of
hold
that.
on, hold
There
on.
is none of that on the
Let-
Errol Mason course.
So there's been a lot of things coming out. You said, well, in a hunt camp chat, it was even this morning. You posted a bottle saying the good stuff, and I did think it was buck urine. And knowing your track history with how you taste the wallow water like a nice red wine, can you understand where I was coming from?
But it takes so much. It takes so much buck urine to fill that bottle. It's a big. That's a lot of buck urine to put in that bottle. But anyway,
Well, it couldn't have been from a buck that you shot or found.
Well, heaven forbid. It wasn't that either. No, terrible. You're full of shit. You are. Anyway, so yeah, let's just make
feed
it public.
or something,
Actually,
wasn't it?
the last buck you shot, wasn't it shot by 3 other people?
God, that was wrong. Which buck? Which buck?
The one that's on
You
your
have
wall.
to-
The one that's on
there's
your
beeps
wall.
in there now.
The one that's on your wall.
No, I shot that thing and looked forever for it. I had told this story
Yeah,
already
but it
in
was
my
still alive.
Yeah, and I said, you shoot it. I have to bring it down.
Yeah.
Get rid of it. Yes,
You
and it's
needed
up there.
someone that could actually hit it.
And I did say it's up there because it reminds me of how much of a shot I am. So hey, here we are. We're back full circle again. So joke's on you.
So good question here, because like Dan's last one, I had to put it down. Does that count as your deer?
No, you're getting people to shoot deer before you so you can finish them off. That's definitely not your deer.
Is that because you're saying that so Frodo doesn't claim your deer?
No, we definitely
I
all
feel he's biased.
we all agreed to give it to Frank. We said no. Let Frank have this one. He's pretty upset.
Yeah, right.
Look, it's the
Here's
only.
the sloppy seconds, mate. You hang that on your wall.
It's like that meme that you see where that guy's like standing like in a park and it's deserted and he's just looking out yonder. That's what Frank was like. He's just
Listen, I still carry my shame from last year. That empty shell is still in my car. It's still there, and I touch it every day. That shell, it's still there. Don't worry. From that buck last year.
Which miss was that?
The only miss I've had in the last God knows how long.
was that the hunter's campfire?
Yeah, that was literally that one, like literally
One that came out on the track.
Yeah, 50 meters away, and I'm bloody and bloody. I should have done so many things, but anyway,
It was
I
about
missed.
40 metres.
It was 40 meters. How would you? 1 meter looks like 10 to you. How would you know? You take 20 steps in 1 meter. What would you know?
He stepped it out. It was 40 paces. So Frank missed from 5 meters.
There you go. Exactly right. Exactly. Well, actually, if it was 40 of my steps, that's so that's one of his.
Take the average, yeah.
So it's about 20 metres. It was at least 20 metres.
I'd love to see actually your step count compared to Rob Camp's step count as well. I'd like to see.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that.
The
comparison.
We know he caught him pretty quick.
Yeah, I know, like,
The Man Mountain.
yeah, it'd be you doing 10, him doing one stride.
pretty
I
much.
reckon.
Pretty much.
We're all built differently. We're all built differently.
Yeah, that's
but-
exactly right.
Yeah, but anyway, yes. So anyway, yeah, the bronze whaler was good fun. Well,
it would've
how do we
been
get
cool
off
to
topic real quick?
experience
Oh,
that.
the book.
We went to the book.
All right. So are you going to
Read it.
read the book?
Of course I'm gonna read the book.
You're going to apply it,
100%.
right? So you're going to get a Samba then?
Well, hopefully. All right, look, I think...
So Snow Camp 2 is a go then?
Oh, Snow Camp's on.
Snow Camp, yeah.
Actually, it's going to be a good year. 2025 is a good year hunting.
I think so.
So,
I hope
Croak
so.
Camp...
I'm dying for a good year of hunting. I'm due it, yeah.
Crow Camp's going to be good because it's going to be, I think, really good time down Snowy Mountain region for that, and then quite a few listeners are coming on.
Yep.
Looking forward just to, sharing camp with a good bunch of people, and everyone does their own thing. It's just a normal hunt, but you're just camping with a few different blokes and whatnot. So that's going to be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that side of it. Mm-hmm. And then Snow Camp.
Yeah.
And then I'd love a little sneaky Vic High Country Samba trip too.
It would be good. Down in Bright or something like that.
I've got a couple of areas.
You got a couple of spots, have you?
I've got a couple of areas that I want to
Are they good spots? Like the ones I took Anthony to and had nothing in them.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, you say that, and then the very next time I go back there, there's deer everywhere. So,
obviously you tied them to a tree beforehand, so what's going on?
the snow hit. Without the snow, that was a different kettle of fish.
So are we staying in the cabin next time again? Or?
Nah, we're camping.
We just? Okay.
I've got a good camp spot.
Really?
Yeah. A little bit lower in elevation.
That's a good idea.
So we should be pretty safe.
Good idea.
But Snow Camp will be a go. I'm keen for that. Hopefully without the snow. So let's
Snow Camp without the snow. That sounds like
that would be good. And then you're going to the Hunted Campfire one. Thing. I think. Look, I'm going to try and get there. And I spoke to Ian today and was saying that I'm going to try and get there. The issue is obviously timing. They're very close in dates. They might not be the same, but then you can only book 2 state forests.
And it's very hard to, if you're going to go, because you've got so many guys going for spots.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
And Nundle's only got between 25 to 28 spots.
Yep, 100%.
During that time. So if you say you miss out on the Monday, but you get the Tuesday, then you try again, but you miss out on the Wednesday, but get the Thursday. That's your two hunts booked up. That's it. That's your 2 hunts booked up.
Yep.
Until you do them. So it'd be very so it's gonna be hard just to get a bloody spot on there. But it should be fun. Whoever does come on there will be great fun. But you'll have no problem with Croak Camp.
Yeah, that's one of the downsides for Hunt Camp where they go. Nundle is it's and then Hanging Rock I think only has 3 as well if you're going to hunt the neighbouring.
That's right, yeah.
And then if you get that and you don't get Nundle, then you can't camp with the boys in Nundle.
That's right.
Which sucks as well. So it's sort of it's one of those tricky navigational things. Like I do love our system, but the booking system is a bit of a pain. I do like the Victorian of just being able to go and just hunt public lands, but then. Yeah, they both come with, in my opinion, pros and cons.
They all come with pros and cons, correct? Because sometimes you talk to some guys that hunt the Vic High Country and they drive past and there'll be
heaps of blokes at the same trailhead.
Just gone, and then it's well, how far do I have to travel in? To actually get a spot. So there's good and bad in both of them, but at least we have state forest hunting in our state.
Correct. Yeah.
Unlike them poor Queenslanders who have to come to our great outstate to hunt. Sorry,
to have a shot.
Yeah.
What were you about to say?
No, I wasn't going to say.
It sounded like that, didn't it?
I had to bite me
mate,
tongue.
I know you're a fanboy of them. What do you let them do to you? It all comes out.
Well, that's why he's a walking billboard. For
I know. Yeah, he's rocked up.
They won't be edited out.
He's rocked up head to toe in Hunter's Campfire. The G string's a bit much, mate. I wish you would have not. We didn't need to see that.
What can I say? I love Romy stuff. The Frank. I love this hat. This hat's great. It's fantastic. Everyone can see me. Even when you walk in a crowd, this is great for the Easter show. You have this hat on the Easter show. Whenever they want to find, where's Dad? Oh, there he is over there in the bright orange hat.
The blaze orange.
It's a great idea.
I'm tossing up a special edition T-shirt.
Here we go.
The Frank.
The Frank.
Pointing at a bin chicken. Just with the slogan, look an eagle.
Yeah, mate.
And with the bright orange, the Frank hat on top. Just a black silhouette, just with this bright orange hat. And the bin chicken. I think that's all I need. I think it will be a hot seller.
I'm about to retire, Anthony. I'm about to retire from all these.
He's already had enough.
Keep your eye out on the shop, guys.
What's the Royalties. The royalties are going to come straight. I can just see it now. I can just see it now. We're swimming in cash. I can see it.
Every time one of these shirts sells, I will find you some sort of bin chook merchandise, and you will get that as commission.
I meet Frank. He's in charge of the bin chicken appreciation
What
society.
did James send us about the bin chickens? Was it cards or something?
Oh,
What was it?
he did. I think he did some stuff with AI, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's been doing some stuff with AI recently. Just some
he
like
sent him on the group chat. I can't remember now what it was.
there's one with it. It was him in his camo with the fellow buck, and the fellow buck gets up and runs away.
Yeah,
That
one.
was cool.
I'm like, how did he do that? Like you could see it was a little bit not right, but like
yeah.
it's there. It's not that far away.
No,
it's not that far away.
It's pretty cool, the old AI nowadays.
But like, what's it going to be like in like say 15 years time? Like, are you actually watching someone hunting a tart, or is that just
AI.
that AI? Like, how are you going to tell?
It is getting to that point, eh? Like,
Yeah.
you're going to see YouTube videos that are just like, well, what is this? I know there was a composer. Did you hear about that? There was a music composer who just got AI to produce all these songs, and then he collected all the royalties, but he also then got bots to listen to the songs. So because the listens went right through the roof, the company had to pay each time someone listens.
Yeah.
So he was like made millions until they caught him. Like it was
Modern day hustler.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
absolutely insane.
Wow.
It's similar to. I was watching something about people that have like YouTube channels can buy subscribers and views and stuff.
It would be because they're just
So they're like
program bots.
They were sort of saying like, if someone's got X amount of subscribers, don't always believe it because they can buy like.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I get that all the time. It's so frustrating. They just a million emails going, your YouTube sucks. You need to do this for SEO, this. And I was like, I don't care.
Yeah, I've got to stop sending us emails. I'm sorry, man.
All the time saying, oh, improve this, do this, or you can pay us this money. Not only will we'll do all this, but we'll get you 100,000 subscribers. And it's just like, you know, you do get paid for that. I think that's half the issue is that YouTube, once you hit certain numbers and views, you
get paid.
make some sort of money. So then it's a very tricky one because a lot of people say that they get those subscribers and then YouTube does a cull and they think that YouTube's demonetizing them. And I'm guessing that does happen, but then there is so much crap out there and bots. Like even some of the comments on posts, you see how it's written and you're like, no, this isn't.
Yeah, because you get extra points for comments, don't you? You get for liking, subscribing.
I think so, yeah. I haven't looked into it that much.
Yeah, there's definitely an algorithm there.
Well, your brother would probably.
TWA. Yeah, if you're listening, ladies and gentlemen, here's a plug for TWA.
Is it still going?
I don't know. I don't watch it.
Didn't he say? I think he said he was going to do a new one.
That's terrible.
He was changing it.
Yeah, he was changing it. Yeah. Well, it was going to be called something else.
TWA.2.
Yeah, TWA 2.0.
So you must be happy, Frodo. He's since snow camp after we carried your rifle. He's taken like looking after you seriously, and he's dropped about 50 kilos and put on about 30 kilos of muscle. You don't need that like Irish wolfhound to ride into
he
battle.
He can carry
mate.
me around now.
He's looking.
one hand.
That's exactly right.
We just tie a lounge chair to the top of him, and you can sit on top of that.
Fantastic.
He's there.
It's about time.
He'll be
he
shoulder
returned the
pressing
favour.
as he
It'd be like
walks.
hunting in India over an elephant,
Yeah,
wouldn't
it'd
it?
be fantastic. It's about time, don't you
I think he's lost 34 kilos.
He's done brilliant.
he's done
Like,
really
he's-
well.
Yeah, and he's got a 6-pack now. Like, it's just ridiculous. He's done really, really well. Like,
That's good to see.
he wants to. Apparently needs to do that to keep up with the pack, but I don't know what pack he's hunting with, so it's not us.
I wasn't moving that quick.
It must have been the weight of that rifle that Anthony carries. That's what it was.
That was heavy.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
like,
just.
I've seen him. He's got a Mr. Olympic bar with 200 kilos on it, just walking up mountains now, just trying to keep up with your rifle. and
That's right.
everything.
Well, he needs to.
He's trying to work out how he carries that samba on one shoulder down, and we can.
Yeah, when he gets it.
When he gets it.
God, that'd be so funny.
If he got it
does
before
get one.
Frank,
Oh,
my god, that would be.
Yeah, what'd you get him with? Oh, it was point
My
blank with
arm.
my 12 gauge.
I flexed and my muscle got him.
I was opening my can of spinach.
Yeah, I elbowed him in the face and knocked him out.
Yeah. He's doing well.
It's good to see.
He's a little muscle man now. He's doing well. Anyway, he's inspiring.
You're having a great. You're looking good too, mate.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying to get hunt fit. So I'm trying to get ready for next year. I just want to be healthier. I want to be fitter. I just want to, just there's a point in a man's life where he gets old enough, and you realise that if this is going to be your lot, then you need to do something about it. So, that's why I thought. You know what? I took inspiration from your brother, and and then Ian's doing some stuff too. So I'm jumping onto that, and it's just been phenomenal results. So I'm really happy with it. I'm just going to keep on going.
Well, let's talk a bit about that because you have done well. You've dropped 20 kilos.
Yeah, 20 kg.
Joan weighs 23 kilos.
Yes, here we go.
You've lost almost Joan.
I told you to repeat this joke, didn't I?
She wishes you would lose her, all right? But
we knew it was coming.
I told you that. I told you he tries it real soft. He does it like a soft opening of a shop, and then he I might polish that a little bit more, and we'll see how it goes.
So this is the thing, right?
And
like a good
your voices
comedian.
out too. That's another thing. You didn't say your voices, so you don't hear any of this in the background. Go on, please go on.
But look, any good comedian, you practice your jokes and then you just sort of throw it in. We just work. Mind you, okay, so for all the listeners, we've been chatting for a good hour and a half before we started recording because Frank likes to come over and
the podcast's only half an hour long so far.
Is it?
So
Right, not even
cut
time.
out that much of it.
So yes, I haven't cut anything out. He's got over here and he's just been he gets with my wife and it's just pick on Matt time, and that's cool. I get it because he knew, as soon as I got Anthony over here, you knew it was going to be pile up on Frank time. So I did put the invite out there for her to join us so he has a little bit of backup, but she declined. So that's unlucky. That's on you.
I don't blame her. I really don't blame her to be associated with you. I don't blame her. Mind you, you made me laugh so hard during the week, I had to pull over.
I know where you're going.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Drinks?
I'd love a cup of water, thanks, Matt. Thank you.
I'll have another one.
Get going.
Tell me this story.
When, Matt sent a picture in the snow camp chat. It was like, boys, what do I do here? He takes a screenshot of his conversation between him and his wife. And literally, this is how smart Matt is. Buys himself a brand new pair of headphones over from the USA. And then advertises that he bought them on his own podcast Facebook page and puts it out to the world. And guess who can see that? His wife can see that. So she sends a screenshot and sends and goes, what? They got Google now. They actually can see the price that you pay for this sort of stuff, Matt. So that's how smart Matt is at covering himself up. He advertises it to the world.
There's more to that story. The wife said, "What is this?" And I wrote back, "They look good." Whose are they?
Did you buy them for Christmas?
Yes, I'd like them for Christmas. Thank you.
And she wrote back, "It's on your socials that go to everyone, including me." And I responded with, "Don't believe everything on social media. A lot of it's fake." And she responded,
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever Matt talks about, it's all fake. You heard it here first. Said it with his own voice. Go on.
and then she said to me, she goes, "I have access to our bank accounts," which, more fool her, I used PayPal.
So,
I've got her done.
And so when she listens to this podcast,
Oh, I'm screwed.
and then hears about your new trick. See, you keep digging yourself a hole, Matty.
This might be his last podcast.
You and me might do one, a tribute to Matt.
Hey, listen, honestly, what a win.
Yeah, they
So
look.
Axel X-Cores.
They look the goods, eh? They look the goods.
The upgrade from the GS Extremes, which I love, but they've got the wire. So these ones just in-ear earplugs.
And so these ones, if you lose them, they won't fall on a tree. They will actually go to the ground then.
But they're in my ear. They're a bit easier, I reckon.
So
I'm not going to lose them.
You'll know if they fall. You're not going to lose them.
Nope.
Okay. I love your confidence, Matt. I hope you don't lose them. So do you wear both at the same time?
Yeah, both at the same time. So apparently these ones, they're in the box. The boys are looking at them right now. Haven't opened them just yet because I've literally only got them 3 days ago. They apparently are a bit better than the GS Extremes on where the sound is coming from. It was the only sort of downside. Like great for when you shoot and taking out the shot noise. You can amplify your hearing around you. But it was difficult to know if you heard something where that noise came from to pinpoint it. Yeah. Apparently, these are so much better. Really? So, like the iPhone, if you're an iPhone user, when you put it in, you can hit like the spatial button. And then when you turn your head, compared to where the location of your phone is, it goes softer or louder.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I don't have an
You a
iPhone,
Samsung person.
Yeah.
There's your issue.
But the Samsung.
I knew there was something off with you,
Do
mate.
they just?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I don't support LGBTQ like Matt does, so like, you know.
Hey, it's 2024.
Samsung
Coming from the bloke that's using the coloured braid wire in the LGBTQI plus.
That's not how much wire I've got out, how much line I got out. That's
yeah. Then what's the flag on top of the rod that's dipping and flicking? So
That's the start of the disco. That's the cue for the music to come on. That's what that is.
But look, she got me.
Yeah, of course she got you.
They always find out, man.
They always find a way, Matt. They always find a way. Just come clean. Just come clean at the start. Hey,
It's funny when sometimes Frank and I'll have a conversation and it'll be like, you know, I got this and this and, you know, how'd you get it around the wife? Well, I did this. And we're like, oh, we're so smart. And it's like 2 days later, it's like, yeah, she found out.
hey, listen. They're going to listen to this podcast. So, you know, so listen.
It's all right. They know
Don't
anyway.
do a Matt.
It's like when I bought my 7mm, you know, I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to hide it from her because she'll find out. So, and I didn't. I told her the truth. She was all right about
You
it.
tell how much you paid for it.
Yes.
Well, see, this is the issue.
That was so convincing, Anthony.
This is the problem. Frank comes over and he starts throwing price tags out in front of my wife. And when I glare at him and amend his price to the real price, I get in trouble from my wife who is daggering me from behind. And I just get in trouble. And then when I get asked in front of Frank how much something costs, he overinflates the price.
Tickers are $2,500, aren't they? I'm pretty sure they are.
They're not, and they're a good gun.
She can easily jump on any website. Jump on any website and have a
doesn't
look
listen
at
to the
the price.
podcast.
She doesn't listen to it.
No, she hears enough of my
She just can't. You can't get enough.
What was the reason? She goes, she occasionally listens when she goes regional. When she drives regional. So
When she's bored, she'll listen to you.
now I know what happens in the house because she doesn't listen to me because she's obviously not travelling regional in my own home.
See, they say that, but they still listen. They know.
Oh, yeah.
they know. They've got ears. They've got a network. They have a network.
I sure do.
Oh, they're
These look. They
look good, don't they?
And
And I'll tell you what, so imported from the States, landed, I think we paid $198, $196.
You want this to go on? You want this to go on? 196.
Oh no, I'm happy to tell her that. Okay. $196 for that.
That's
landed.
That's
here.
landed. That's here.
Yeah. So it was a Black Friday special, buy one get one free. So I think they were US. No, I don't think it was $199. It was $129 or something like that, $139, and then it was $45 US delivery. So it worked out the two pairs. So Sam jumped in with us and he got a set, and so it was $198, I think, somewhere around that mark. So under $200.
Good, eh?
Wow. So
how good's that?
So the charging case, you get another 2 more full recharges. So that's pretty good.
Plus, then you're running your power anyway.
Yeah, So
I've got my
power. Yeah.
I've got a power bank. I've got that King's 24-volt one, or
What's
is it 36?
the battery life on them?
I'm trying to see that now. It's probably inside the instructions.
I think look off the top of my head, it says about 8 hours. I think
8 hours.
they're pretty bloody good.
They do look, mate. They do.
They look
interesting to see
good.
how they go. Interesting.
I'm
interested to see how
from
they go.
all the reviews, and I have not seen anything bad. And if they're just a little bit better than the other ones that I've got, I'm going to be bloody happy.
You'll be happy.
Yeah,
with that.
100%. The other ones are great. The only thing we got, look, I did get the cheaper pair. There's a pair that comes with Bluetooth connectivity so you can listen to music.
Oh, yeah.
And look, they're for hunting. They're not for the range. So I sort of went, I don't really need the music, don't really care for the music. I'm going to just run them because that's for hunting. I just need to hear the sounds around me. So I'm super keen to get out there. But damn, it's bloody hot at the moment. I'm not going out again.
Yeah,
It's 36 degrees today. It's
That was crazy.
We've we had a bad experience a long time ago, Frank.
We did.
Hunting in summer, never
We did.
again.
Never again.
That was
Never-
enough to turn me right off it in
Never
summer.
again.
Fishing.
Fishing is what we do
Yeah,
in summer.
that's it.
Fishing is what we do in summer.
Exactly.
Yeah. Matt wants to know that story.
Yeah,
obviously.
100%. The listeners want to know this story. What is going on?
Andy can start it off. Go on.
We I think it was like early December. I think was it off the top of my head,
Yeah.
or end of November, whatever it was. But we went up to property at Coolah that we used to have access to, and it was 45 degrees, and
It was ridiculous.
it was unbearably hot.
Yeah.
There was no
Not a breath of wind.
nothing. There was just
Not a breath
nothing.
of
It
wind.
was
It
just
was-
heat. It was like sitting. It was like just sitting around a bunch of heaters.
Yeah.
Like it was.
Yeah, pretty much exactly what it was.
Oh god, it was horrendous.
I had the rooftop tent and I had everything zipped
Yeah,
open. Like the fire screen was obviously the zip closed, but I had everything else open just to try to get some sort of airflow or anything through there. Nothing. It was just
There was nothing.
stagnant. It was just so hot.
and it was. God, I remember we went spotlighting that night in singlets.
Yeah, that's
With
right.
hankies wrapped around our faces to stop the bugs flying into our mouth.
Yeah, because we haven't held the spotlight.
That's right.
It was
Just
couple of
being
the
like
bugs in the
surrounded
face.
by
Yeah.
moths and everything else.
It was that hot, Matt. The foxes were crawling to the dams. That's how hot it was, mate.
It was-
to get a drink. It was that bloody hot.
It was so bad. I don't think any of us slept a wink.
No.
I think we were meant to be there for 2 nights. We only stayed one
Yeah,
because the next day was meant to be the same, if not hotter.
yeah.
And Emma, my wife, got not sick, but she was having like a bit of a asthma attack kind of thing with the heat and just not being able to breathe properly. So we were pretty much up all night with her, making sure that, you know, she was going to be all right. And I didn't have a puff or anything on me at the time, but she was fine. But it was, yeah, it was so,
It wasn't a good experience.
it was not a
wasn't-
good
it
experience.
wasn't- and it was not. It's not.
It was crap.
It's not worth going for us. It's not worth going in the heat. It's just
That
not-
just turned us right off it.
yeah.
We're like, no.
And especially like in that heat, it is so hard to keep meat good for consumption as well.
Yeah.
Like shooting goats, shooting deer, like in that heat.
I don't even recall if we even... This particular property had a lot of goats on it.
Yeah.
And I don't actually recall us shooting any for that reason because we're like, well, how are we going to keep it cool?
Yeah,
Like, we
we're
can't.
not okay, that's right. Like you can't even cool them. To cool them down, you literally have to break them up there and then on the spot.
Yeah. And none of us had fridges at the time. Well, this was a long time ago. So none of us had fridges. We just had
so if
eskies
you
with a
put-
bit of ice in it.
If you put hot meat into the esky with all that
Oh, it
ice,
seals it in.
it just it literally would just melt all the ice and it seal that in and it just would not cool down enough and you wouldn't feel right eating that meat like you just anyway.
I think the nighttime, I think nighttime it was still like 35 degrees at,
Yeah.
midnight.
Absolutely ridiculous.
It was
So-
just, and me and him were like, never again. That is it. We are never going hunting again.
just like
in
that night
summer.
after snow camp. Never again.
I had fun.
Yeah, I'm glad
That
you
was
had
an
fun.
experience. Well,
Well,
it's gotta be up there,
You
isn't
need to go through those experiences in life to go. You know what? I don't need to do that again. That's okay. We can
Yeah,
do that.
true.
Yeah, and also the cool art stuff as well. Not besides snow camp.
yes. Yes.
Oh,
No, the heat hurts. I get there's some people that like to hunt in the heat, and if you are prepped well to deal with it, yes, but there is a limit.
it depends on what you're doing in the heat too. It really
and-
depends on what you're hunting in the heat, and if you're prepared
And where you're at,
for them.
if you're in a state forest and you are trekking out and you've got a 20-minute walk back to the car, by the time you shoot something, hang it, especially if it's like if it's mid-30s, it's hot.
It is hot.
Like if you can hang it in a tree and the outside temperature is still bloody hot, and then to get back to the car, put it in ice, it's
a process. It takes a lot of energy to cool that meat down. But you got those boys up North Queensland that go hunting, the Hunters Campfire just did that buffalo trip as well. It's bloody hot up there. They brought back buffalo back straps and stuff like that, and they've worked out a system to get meat back from the Northern Territory, and from what I heard, it was average over 30 degrees per day while they were there. So they'll end up working out how to do that. But at 45 degrees, it's just just a bit extreme being out there, even hunting at 45 degrees.
I think if you're on private and you've got a car, so I was talking to Jack out the back about this. So the way he does it with the camels is that he will have a towel and literally throw the back straps in the towel, a wet towel, cable tie them up, put them on the ute so there's that airflow as he drives, and he's good.
Yeah.
Great idea, but you're not
fantastic.
doing that in a state forest, walking around. I mean, private access, get it. You probably have that bit more flexibility to be able to do it. But even then, it's still warm. And
yeah, it is.
I don't know, it's in the back of your mind. And then I also go, are we a bit softer?
Probably.
Looking back at when I was at high school, do you remember going to school with chicken sandwiches? Just, thrown in the bag.
Yeah, we're all good with that. Yeah.
30 degrees, who cares? Sat in there for, 5-6 hours and you'd eat it.
Sandwiches.
Yeah, exactly
No
right.
ice packs, no nothing.
No.
Mum would just wrap it up in a tea towel and that was it.
There you go. Off you go.
Yeah. I know.
So I sometimes think, am I being too overcautious? But then the last thing you want to do is stuff up and eat bad.
Exactly.
Food poisoning is not nice.
Well, you'll know once you get the food poisoning, that's the limit there. we can't go back to that point again. So you'll know once you get food poisoning that you've been too far, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway.
On that, not food poisoning related, but just ticked over, the wife had a wedding last week.
Yeah.
And so she was away for 3 days. And my luck is that the kids got sick. All right, the little germ factories brought home a bug, and the day before she went, the night of, anyway, one of the twins had, a couple of spews all over the place, whatever. So she's gone. The other twin copped it 24 hours after she left.
Yeah, that's right.
And then, so I thought I was in the clear. She's had a few, the Arvo, I put her down for bed, and, little angel slept through the night. I thought, we're all good here. Got up in the morning, ready to, go to work. I'm on my own, get the kids out the door. So rushing around, got the boys sorted. She's still sleeping. I'm like, how good's this? She's had a good sleep. This is great. So I got ready as well. Thought, this is perfect. What an easy morning. Open the door. The stench hit me. Oh. It was worse than probably gutting an animal in 40 degrees heat. It was just... I walked in and I knew I was in for pain. And it was like a murder scene of vomit. Just through her queen bed, through the floor. It was just everywhere. And I just looked at her and just went, I've got to now re-shower. I've got to shower her. And then, so God, this is how bad it was. I scrubbed her hair in the shower.
Oh, really?
Probably washed it twice, trying to get chunks out of her hair because it was in there. Got done. Child services, well, here we come. Got it done. Thought, this is good. Got her to the change table, got her dressed, and I'm like, what's that smell? It was a hair still. It was just, it would not leave. Yeah, well, I was using the hairspray in her hair to comb through. I was sitting there going, oh my God. And then I'm sitting there going, all right. The other fella, he hit a period. The vomiting lasted for, say, 6 hours and it was done. I'm like, okay, she started yesterday, Arvo. It's well and truly over. Can I get her to daycare? And then as I've cleaned up, got everything sorted, about to walk out, all over its front and floor. I'm just like, oh man. And the wife's away. Oh man, this is it was a killer.
How
It was
good are
funny.
kids?
Kids
How
are great.
good are kids?
Gotta love them.
Oh,
It was
Precious,
she was she was a little trooper, but I was like, oh my God, like with the wife away and then just all that it was chaos.
Babysitting tips by Matt.
Oh, don't listen to me. Jesus Christ.
That's a new segment we're gonna put into the
On
podcast.
today's episode.
I don't think my parents. Well, look, I think I'm parenting right, but the neighbour informed me the other day that he looked out the window and we've got rural fencing around our property, so you can see in between neighbours. And he's looked out and seen my oldest chasing our chickens with a fake rifle running around with it, and I was like, oh,
Well,
lucky he's okay with that.
we laugh at that, but that was me and Anthony literally.
Yeah.
30 years ago now. That was me and
It's a
Anthony.
different time though now.
Yeah, it is a different time.
Different
It is
time.
a different time.
Yeah, 30 years ago, it would have been with a slug gun too.
Yeah. It would have been a slug gun too, yeah. Or we used to we used to make bows and arrows
Yes.
out of we used to get a eucalyptus sapling, and then we'd go to your mum's sewing kit and
Yeah.
get the elastic.
Yeah.
And we couldn't find never used to be able to find the end of it, so we just cut a chunk out of it, and your mum would have the absolute shits at us for doing that.
Yeah.
And then we'd get a nice springy bit of sapling, and we'd get some high tensile wire. It had to be high tensile wire because it had.
My dad would have rolls of this wire.
The fencing
and me
wire.
And Frank would just cut 40 centimeter lengths from the middle. So every time he'd unroll it, he'd get 2-3 meters, and then what the bloody hell's going on here? Meanwhile here me and Frank, straightening out this wire.
We'd be there.
Arrows.
That's right. We'd be then in front of a rock and be tapping it with the hammer, just making it nice and straight.
Yeah.
Making sure there's a point on the end of it. Yeah, and you'd be turning rats into porcupines with it.
Yeah.
You have to wait. You have to put a little bit of bait in front of you, and you have to sit there for ages and just wait and wait and wait. And then by the time they started coming out, that's when you started drawing back. And then it's like, I don't know how.
Some of them were actually effective.
Yeah, some
of them were like, shit, that actually worked.
Some of them pinned them to the ground. We get a second and third one into them. They were great fun.
Some of them actually flew really straight.
It does sound a bit sad, but it was heaps of fun back in the day.
was good fun.
We made our own bows and arrows and stuff like that. Anyway, that's what kids need these days. They need to get out and be in nature and all that sort of stuff. That's what they need to be.
No, it could be.
They won't balk at seeing a bit of blood in when you go to Woolies, and how they've got those. Now they've got black trays now. They used to have white styrofoam trays, but now
That's the
blood
height.
at the bottom.
because no one wants to see the blood. It's like, that's
natural.
That's it. It's just natural. It's just part of it. That's just the meat. That's the colour of it.
Well, what about that Bovie stuff that's going on at the moment that hits the headlines? That additive that they're doing to reduce methane emissions in cattle.
Yeah.
And the warning labels are impacts negatively, like male reproductive organs and fertility and all this stuff. And it's
just more and more and more chemicals into
to reduce methane.
and we're consuming that.
Yeah, it's not.
We're going to be
great.
consuming that. That's just not right. That's just terrible.
And then you've got there's farmers that can capture that methane, and certain manufacturers for agricultural equipment now, like certain tractors will run on it. So the farmers can literally run their farm from their cattle, from methane. They capture it, put it in their tractors.
Really? What do they just capture it in like a barn or something? They put them in the barn?
Look, I don't know exactly how it's done, but I think it's like a biogas plant or something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and they so I know New Holland have got a tractor out that runs on it, and run times and everything are pretty similar to a full tank of diesel.
Yeah, right.
So it's not like an electric where you get 4 hours out of it and that's it. It's pretty much
And you're making your own fuel.
you're making your own fuel. Yeah,
Man, that would bring the cost of farming down.
yeah.
Bring the
Yeah,
cost
so-
of if It's going to bring the cost of farming down. It's going to bring
So
the cost
there's
of
no need for
product down. The government will get rid of it.
Yeah,
That's right.
kill that off.
They'll tax the farmers more now.
We can't make money off that. No, we're not doing that.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I was reading on it, and I don't know how true this is. I've got to look into it a bit more. But I was reading on it that they were saying that a blade of grass, when it breaks down anyway, produces the same amount of methane as when the cow consumes it.
Yeah, right.
So that it's pretty much like just a natural cycle that's not that bad at all. And then the amount of it that actually impacts what we do is so minuscule, it's not funny. It just seems to be this push at the moment that is a moneymaker as opposed to what's really causing. It always concerns me when you sit there and you have people go, all right, you need to do this as they fly around in their jets. Or, like Mark Zuckerberg with his $38 million yacht with 12 diesel engines telling us that we, shouldn't drive our car. Like you got to sort of sit there and go, I don't know about this one. Like Bill Gates flying around, that he's just here in Australia, flying around the world, telling us that you shouldn't travel, you shouldn't eat meat because it's killing the planet. Take my vaccine and eat my fake lab meat. Like you sort of sit there and go, I don't know. It's a very curious sort of area for a lot of people.
Different times. It's different times, that's for sure. All you can do is just, try and teach your kids the best way the best way you think it is, and move on from there. So it's this deep dark hole we're going to get into.
But even that's getting harder to do because you've got so much technology, you've got so much of a changing culture. It's harder for those kids to be able just to embrace that traditional way. Well, we're talking about this, even like kids sitting down and eating dinner as a family now. It's a rarity. Like it's not the commonplace.
Yeah, see,
for most kids,
and that's and it's so sad to hear that because that's common in my household. We all sit around the table together to eat. Like that's right. That's how we find out about each other's day. That's how we find out how we're all going. That's
exactly.
That's our bit of communication time. Like that's literally that's us unplugging ourselves from the system and
that's right. Yeah,
being together. So like the fact that they don't have that is quite sad. Like that means like someone else is raising your kid. If they're stuck to a TV, they're stuck to a device. Someone else is raising your kid.
But it's sort of that catch-22 because I don't like to put other people down in the sense that you don't know their circumstances and situation. But I feel that look at the cost of living here in Sydney. Like,
it's ridiculous.
I can't believe how expensive things are. Then you understand why people are working longer jobs, longer hours, double, they might have two jobs just to cope and make ends meet. And then you go, well, it sort of has to, when they get home, they're tired, looking after the kids. There's a million things to do. Very tricky to get done. I think just the system these days is you can't, to get ahead, or not even to get ahead really, just to be able to survive. It's a lot of pressure.
I seen something the other day, driving, stuck in traffic to go to work, to earn my 8 hours worth of money to pay for my house. I was sleeping for 8 hours after I finished my day at work, to pay for my dinner that I eat after I finish my day at work, to then wake up and then pay for my car that I get in to drive to work. Like everything that you're buying is so you can go to work. And I looked at that and I went, wow, like we're literally being plugged into a system here and just it's just, I don't know. We just got to break away from the status quo.
It was like that hunting meme. There's that one that spent all day hunting to survive, and now works all day to survive, dreaming of going hunting.
Going hunting, exactly right.
The system is very interesting. Well, on that, did you see GMA, the new Victorian rates?
They've gone up,
like 51%.
Did they say why it's gone up?
Well, they were running at a loss.
They were, right.
So it was not profitable, and it was something that needed to be addressed.
Well, so if you break that down, right? So how much is it now?
I don't, off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you, but it's expensive. Like for
We're talking about $300.
No, higher. I think, look, don't quote me. 450. I think it's 450.
We need
Where's
to
my-
actually have a look at this before we put this out.
No, just keep talking. I think it's 450, but I'll have a look now. while we're
450?
talking. Yeah, as a guess. Because everyone's complaining, and I get it, because that is a lot of money. That
Well,
from what it went up.
if you have a think about it, so it's $450, right? So you can go shooting in the Victorian High Country. Right. So $450. Say you go out and you shoot yourself a sambar deer. And I know that there are so many other things you've got to put into the equation. But, you know, you'd have to get what? 2 sambar deer to feed your family for the year?
Yeah.
And that covers your meat costs. Like, you'd spend $450 in meat in 2 months feeding a family of 3, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah, bloody oath.
So, like,
Especially the way my kids eat meat.
yeah. Like,
All right, so I'm not too far off here. Long-term license, so is $450.80.
per year.
No, that's for the whole time. So that's valid till December 31, 2027.
Oh,
So it is an increase by 57%.
that's for 3 years?
Well, if you buy it now, 3 years. So $450 for 3 years.
Well,
and then there's also an application fee, which is $88. So for 3 years, you're talking $538, $539.60 if you want to be exact. So yeah, it's gone up 57%. Look,
And they're running out of loss, though.
they were running at a loss.
So if they're running out of loss, and we as hunters want to support that industry, that is unfortunately probably something that we're going to have to foot if we want to keep on doing what we want to be doing. And if they if now that this money that you put into that brings more people into that line of work, then that gives people more jobs in that industry, and that is obviously bringing more revenue in. So now instead of it bringing $1 million in or whatever, however much it was, the GMA was bringing in for hunting Victoria, how much more is it going to be now?
So here's the issue with that. Is that going to price out some people of hunting? Then you also talk about the duck season has been pretty much halved. So you get 50% less time to hunt ducks. You then look at what they're trying to do with turning a lot of public land that is available for hunting now into national park where it would not be. I can understand there is a lot of frustrated hunters in Victoria on the back of going, hey, we've just had this 57% increase with less opportunity to hunt ducks, 50% less, and potentially we're going to lose a heap of land to hunt deer. That doesn't make sense. And I get what you're saying, but look, I would like to see personally that the fees didn't go up, but the numbers of hunters went up, because go for the volume as opposed to making a lot of money off a smaller amount of people. And I think that some of the things that we've seen in Victoria have limited people or said, look, am I going to pay that? Now, I get both sides of it. I understand people are going, hey, but you know, you're paying for the privilege to hunt. You have the camp that will say it should be free because it's our right. I'm not sort of in that camp. I think we should pay something. I do state that I like the Pittman-Robinson tax in the US where that goes to conservation. I think we should be doing the same. I'd pay more for DPI, GMA to stop more poaching. I think I'd be happy to pay more for that.
Yeah, definitely.
But then I also see the other side of the fence going, I'm paying more for less. How does that make sense? And then you start to go down that UK model where we start to price ourselves out of hunters being able to say, hey, I can afford to hunt. And it becomes a class system, which then restricts the amount of hunters as well. And especially we just talked about how expensive it is. I think we're right up there with the amount of like how expensive it is to live anywhere in the world at the moment. Yes. And it doesn't look like anywhere soon it's going to drop. And then this is hit people too. Like it just seems to be.
But everything has gone up.
Heaps.
Since COVID, everything has gone up, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And like, have they gone up since COVID? Probably not.
Oh, they haven't, and this is the thing. They've kept the pricing for a certain period of time, and this is the jump up. And yes, you're right. It's been probably because of that time frame that it's jumped up.
Well, obviously they've looks like they've assessed it and gone, for us to actually be moving forward, they would have had to go, well, we need to have this much money, and then it's not as if they're going to increase it by 50% every single year after that. They might have just gone for this increase, and they might keep it for 5-6 years. You don't know. In saying that, maybe they've got 51% increase. Maybe like they could have taken it a smaller chunk and gone 20, then gone up in 5-10% increments over the next couple of years to get to that point. I don't know. I'm not a financial advisor. Trust me. I'm into hunting. I don't know how to handle money. Trust me. But anyway.
Yeah, I get that. It's tricky though. It's a really hard one. I get why people are saying, geez, like you're pricing us out of hunting. My concern is that also potentially turns people into that sort of poaching side. Is that you outprice people and they go, stuff it. I'm just going to, I'll do it illegally anyway because I can't afford to do it and I still want to do what I like. And then that's got the opposite effect of what we really want.
It's a balance, eh? It is a real
difficult balance. And then that's not even bringing in the political side of things as well. With everything that's going on and happening. Oh, did you see Canada during the week? Holy crap.
Johnny's moved to Canada.
What the hell's going on there? Oh, all right, guys, we're going to ban all these guns and we're going to send them to the Ukraine. What is going on over the...
Yeah.
Man.
That bloke's lost the plot.
I reckon our guy's going to be following suit. He's cut from the same cloth. So, you sit there and just go, what is going on with this crap?
They're banning semi-automatic rifles?
What was it? I think it was they said 320 different
types,
styles.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Which equated to something like 4,500 different guns. And they're immediately, confiscate, hand them in, we're sending them to the Ukraine to support their war effort. It was just, whoa.
So we'll take what you've worked hard for to get and we'll send it somewhere else.
Yeah, and we've done our part. We've done our part with supporting our neighbour, and you get to pay for the privilege of it. Wow, it's a different tax, isn't it? It's a different sort of tax. It's a different sort of tax.
You do have to wonder and go it scares me. Stuff like that will come here, and they'll implement something like that, and you just don't have a say because it's just regulated and passes and done.
You just see all the Canadians moving to Alaska. Isn't Alaska part of America?
Yeah, US.
Yeah. You just see them all moving over to Alaska. Alaska's population is
just run. Just drive straight over the border with your rifles.
Across the border. You just see that now, because now you're international. Maybe some of your listeners, could let you know what's happening over there.
Yeah, it's scary times.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah,
Oh, well, he doesn't do such a bad job on the podcast. He deserves to be on national. Are you talking about that?
That's quite funny from you.
You've been listening to the Australian Hunting and Beyond podcast with Matt. Thanks for tuning in and can't wait to catch you next time. But in the meantime, if you want more, you can find it at linktr.ee/Australian Hunting and Beyond. That will give you our YouTube, Instagram, X, Facebook, you name it. We'll catch you next time.